were taking a walk today, and we said, like, we've set such a high standard that when we get into that draft room, like, we forget that, you know, the guys out there took a little time, and then we got to remember why we liked them when we were in the draft. Not say, okay, compare them to Cole, compare them to George, compare them to all these guys, because we do have a very good development system, and if we set our standards high and continue to do the right things by getting the right people, I think we'll continue to hopefully build those ways.
Mariners president of amateur scouting, Scott Hunter, touching on what goes into some of the thought process when drafting players. The Mariners are picking 24th overall when the draft starts Saturday. There are 20 rounds total in the MLB draft. And I don't know if, Ariel, I'm sure you don't remember. Well, I can't even say that. There's a good chance that young Ariel doesn't remember this, but the MLB draft used to go seemingly forever. They dropped it to 40 rounds until 2019, and at that point they dropped it to the current 20 rounds. So, you know, I mean, come on, we bring in Dave Wyman as well. You know, he's joining us here from Sports Radio 710 Seattle Sports. You know, I know Dave remembers this, but go ahead. I mean,
no, yeah, I do remember it because a friend of mine actually got drafted out of high school in like the 30th or something round. So like, yeah, I absolutely remember what it was like. Way too many rounds. He never ended up doing anything. He went to Kansas, played there, had a good career there, and then didn't crack an MLB roster.
Yeah, but kind of a thrill though, huh? Yeah. If you're a high school kid, you get picked in the 38th round. What difference does it make?
Listen, I remember those days when there was 40 rounds. And there was guys getting drafted that never even played baseball before. Guys, you went and got a turkey sandwich at Subway. You got a $5 foot long. You get drafted. That's the way it used to be, right? But now, you know, they chopped it down to 20, and they're doing a little better job of actually going out there and recruiting and scouting these guys.
Yeah, and Dave, take us through your draft experience. I mean, you know, coming out of Stanford, you were a highly rated guy.
Yeah, but I had my junior year in 1984, I had a total knee dislocation. Ooh. Everybody saw that, and I got it fixed, redshirted, played my senior year, but there were still teams that were not going to draft me because they had seen that film, and it's pretty disgusting. I had to go look at it one time, and then I could move on from it, but it was really bad, really bad. And so I understood, you know, that I thought I was going to go somewhere, maybe in the first round, maybe in the second round. Jim Mora told me, like, 10 years ago that I was like this close to getting drafted by the San Diego Chargers in the first round, and that there was a big argument in the draft room. All this is going on. I didn't know it until like 2010 when Jim told me this story. Like, I was very, very close to being a Charger, but I didn't really know. I thought I might go to the second round. I might go to the third round. So ended up getting drafted in the second round, and I went and spent the night at my brother's house in Reno because where we lived outside of Reno didn't have cable and therefore didn't have ESPN. So, and the draft started at like 6 o'clock. So we all slept on the floor at my brother's apartment and then got the cable and watched it the next day. So yeah, that was my experience.
That's the greatest thing about having someone like you on this show, someone that played in the late 80s. You know, you have that experience of, you had to go somewhere where they had cable television just to watch this thing. That's hilarious.
And somewhere that had a landline.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah, only landline. Like, and I had to give that my brother's phone number out to all of the teams, and I gave it to my agent in case anybody called. And yeah, so there was. I don't know. We thought it was pretty cool back then, and, you know, like we were super high tech and connected.
Dave, was this in color or black and white?
Oh. Okay, I deserve that. No. Well, it's pretty close to black and white, actually. I was alive when there was black and white TV. And when I was in college, I had a black and white TV that actually the channel selector was like a radio knob, kind of. So, yeah, I mean, I suffered through a lot of really low-tech type of stuff, which is why I get so annoyed now when I can't figure out how to open links and things like that.
Dave Wyman, in color.
Yeah. All right, listen, though, we talk about all this.
I think I was better in black and white, Ariel.
Slimming.
It got us thinking with the MLB draft coming up Saturday. Who was the lowest drafted player to make it to the major league stardom level? Hall of Famer Mike Piazza, widely recognized as the lowest round draft selection, 62nd round back in the day, 1,390th overall in 1988. to actually suit up and have a prolific big league career, a Hall of Fame career as well. So Mike Piazza, the answer to a lot of trivia questions out there. All right, the White Sox have the #1 pick after their dreadful season last year. The organization says they have narrowed down their choices to 3 guys. So Rock Chalowski, a shortstop out of UCLA, seems to be the consensus #1 choice. The Mariners sitting there at 24th. Let's talk a little bit about this draft and the fact that Chicago was just terrible last year. Has gotten to the point where they've been, up and down in first place, second place, trading with the Cleveland Indians. Wow,
You took it back.
That's dating me right there. The Guardians. It's like saying San Diego Chargers these days. It's just not there.
We were in black and white for a second.
That's right, Terry.
Technicolor.
We were in black and white. That's good, man. But when you think about that, Dave, the parity that is somewhat returning to Major League Baseball certainly is on the American League side, because you can see all the teams basically hovering at 500, except for maybe the Yankees and the Rays. But it's got to be good for baseball to see a team that was in the cellar last year and playing such terrible baseball come back this year and go from worst to first, at least for the time being.
Yeah, I think Major League Baseball is, I don't know, it's a little bit more exciting in the American League just because of the parity. And, we see not very good. I think we're one of 3 teams that has a positive run differential. So, but, speaking of the draft, the Mariners have done such a phenomenal job with guys like Colt Emerson and Cole Young. And I know Cole Young had a big mistake last night, not challenging that last pitch and everything. But these guys, I love that they're not only drafting and developing pitchers, they're also, you can see that the position group, obviously you have Cal and Julio are homegrown players, but the way that they have been going out and scouting players, drafting players, and then developing them has been phenomenal. And it really hit home, I think, this year with the fact that you have Colt Emerson and Cole Young out there in the middle of that defense, which, by the way, I solicited like a nickname for those 2 guys, and people texted in CO2. Somebody from the 253. So that may be the nickname for those 2 guys. But they just, I think the Mariners have done as well, right up there with the Seahawks. The Seahawks they're on a heater. John Schneider is on a heater. He's been selecting great players. And I'd say the same thing for Jerry DiPoto, and Justin, because those guys they've been doing a great job drafting and developing guys, and guys coming up pretty early. Colt Emerson can't even buy a beer, and he's out there playing, a really good shortstop, a super instinctive player. And I don't know if I've said this on this show. He became my new favorite Mariner because he told me that in high school he got kicked out of a football game for targeting. And I'm like, you're my new hero. I love that. But yeah, great athlete. And I kind of went off on a little rant there, but I've been really impressed with the young guys, and just, over the last 5 to 10 years of, Jerry DiPoto and Justin Hollander doing just a great job of drafting and developing good, not only pitchers, but, some good fielders as well.
No, and it's a great analogy because John Schneider also has been really good at the trade deadline. So has Jerry DiPoto and Justin Hollander. So the deadline's August 3rd. Speculation around who they might get. They need a right-handed bat and a reliever. Here are a few of their targets, and the pool seems thin this year. But who are the buyers and who are the sellers, guys?
Well, you look at the targets that they have there, and as far as who they could get after in this trade, Aroldis Chapman is a guy who comes with some baggage, but man, it's hard to argue against his success this year. We talk a lot about Sensatella from the Rockies. That seems to be maybe one of the top guys you'd go after. But if as you sit here, Dave and Terry, you and Ariel, you're looking at you need a reliever and you need a right-handed bat, and some of these, I just don't think there's enough talent in this trade market to go put in a package together for Wilson Contreras. First of all, he's a first baseman, so I'm not sure where you're going to put him. He has to agree to become basically almost a full-time DH if he's going to come to Seattle, because they got Naylor over there at first base. Can I see that screen up again? I just want to just show some of these guys like Byron Buxton. The Twins, I think it's going to take a massive package to get him, for the Twins to let him go. And so I think it's almost unrealistic there. And Suzuki, there's some talk about the Cubs because they need starting pitching, and that's what the Mariners have. They could be an attractive package there for the Cubs. But when you guys look at it, Terry and Dave, let you guys chime in. You know, what do you think when they go after with the Mariners going after targets? What do you think? Where should they go?
Well, I mean, I think they definitely need a reliever. But, you know, I think it's going to be really interesting to see in the American League who thinks they're going to make the playoffs and who's going to be buyers, because, you know, it's so spread out. And I don't know that the Mariners, you know, as far as a right-handed bat, just keep playing Victor Robles. Please keep playing Victor Robles. And then, you know, if you can get some guys back, you know, if you can get Matt Brash and Brendan Donovan back, I almost feel like that would be, you know, as good as any trade that you could make. But they definitely need, you know, relievers. I'm kind of skeptical about Brash's health, and I'm not sure if he's going to be available. Maybe not the entire year. So, yeah, maybe. But I think that's what everybody expects, Terry. That, you know, they're certainly going to get a reliever, right?
Yeah, I believe personally, my opinion, I think we could win with this pitching staff. I think they can go all the way with this pitching staff. I don't think there needs to be a big shakeup and a change there, but we definitely need a bat. We need to get somebody that's offensive-minded, and we need to take into consideration that that's not going to disrupt the continuity on the defense when we put that bat in the mix. So, to me, go find some offense.
Yeah, when you look at last night's game and they lose 2-0 and they have 5 singles, it's just a constant reminder that they got to get some firepower in there if they're going to make any run at the playoffs, certainly a deep run in the playoffs. Dave, we're out of time with you, man, but I really appreciate you jumping on with us today. It's always great to catch up with you and talk not only just sports, but some other things.